we're going camping tonight. So
When you get off the stage, it's supposed to be there.
we're gonna have to sneak past you, but not have it.
happy Thursday in May. I know our students are excited about that. We might have a few teachers who are excited about that too. My name is Jennifer Brinson. I have the very distinct privilege of being the assistant principal in this building, and it is a joy every single day to work with all of our students. But I particularly have a fondness for our musicians. They are incredibly talented, amazing human beings. They embrace kindness and grace every single day, and that is largely attributable, at least in this building, to their director. Mr. Hess has done an amazing job putting together a program. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. He's backstage. He has no idea what just happened. I'm super excited about their concert tonight because I know the amount of work that they have put in and the rehearsal time and dedication to their craft is incredible. So I hope you enjoy a really awesome night of the arts with us at Owen J. Roberts. And I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Hess.
For those of you who missed it, Avery Bauer's parents are going to need to see me after the concert because as I picked up the microphone, I hear a very, very distinct voice from the 8th grade band just go, and this is funny, this is pretty good. Perfect timing, Avery. I pick up the microphone and I just hear, oh, here comes the app. All right, so Bauer family, see me afterwards. No cake for you after the concert. Hey, welcome. Thanks for being here. I hope you're enjoying yourself so far. Everybody repeat after me. Air conditioning! Air conditioning! Okay, so like 4 hours ago when we were in here setting up and stuff, no joke, if you look when the lights are out and stuff later, there's these giant circular fans that blow air in here, and they were like, you could stand right here and you could feel the furnace. You could feel the heat. It was blowing heat into this room a couple hours ago. So I just want to say thank you to whoever the magic person is in our building and grounds who hit the magic button to make sure that we have air conditioning tonight. So yeah. Welcome. Thank you for being here. I know it's a little cramped. And by a little, I mean I get to stand up here and actually have space and you don't, so I apologize for that. But thank you for being here. We have had, I used the word yesterday with our dress rehearsal. We've had a magical 3 months in our band program. And playing at levels that I haven't seen in, as I've told 8th grade many times, about 10 years. I'm so proud of these kids. And 7th grade, the magic has been in 3 months, just learning how powerful they are. Not being afraid of what they can do with their instrument. And I am just so impressed by them, their ability to play big, bright, and exciting, like fireworks are going on. And then like that last one, maybe just singing a little lullaby. So I hope you're enjoying their ability up here because they've been working so hard and showing so much kindness and dedication, and I appreciate it. Is our last one our favorite, 7th grade? Yeah, well, you better play it like it's our favorite. This is Byzantine Dances, and man, is it a good tune. Here we go. All right. Time for our 8th grade concert band. We're going to start things off as we traditionally do with our school's alma mater. Throughout the years, I've invited certain students to come up and conduct. And this year, Maeve Meacham, one of our wonderful saxophone players, has just shown off great dedication, maturity, kindness, wicked sense of humor, just awesomeness all around. So I asked her to conduct the alma mater. Everybody say hi, Maeve. Let's hear it for Maeve. And the 8th grade band. Thank you, Maeve.
We've all been that guy. It's all good.
Raise your hand if you've had songs from Wicked stuck in your head for the last 6 months. Thanks a lot, Harry and Audrey. I know you're out there, Audrey, somewhere. Everybody else hear that little voice go, sorry. That's my little daughter. All right. No, hey, if you're going to get stuck with songs in your head, man, this is some good stuff. When I told the 8th grade that we were going to do this concert, it wasn't their reaction that made me realize that I picked a winner. It was their reaction. The 7th graders were all like, wait, what? They're playing Wicked and we're not? And the sass was real for a couple of weeks. But I've already got like a crew, like a committee of students in 7th grade who are working on like which musical could we do next year, or what fun movie could we do next year. So they have some really good ideas coming out, and I hope that we will enjoy putting that together. But it's 8th grade's turn right now. So we're gonna play Wicked. If you sing along, it just means that you like fun. So here we go. So as 8th grade brings there, what we realized was an accidentally space-themed concert, because I had no plan on doing all space-themed stuff, and you have to count Defying Gravity is space-themed. That's what they tell me anyway. But our final selection here is Jupiter, and I'm delighted in working with the kids on this one because this is a difficulty level and an arrangement that is very difficult to do with middle schoolers, and I wasn't sure if I'd ever get this back out again, and then a couple months ago I was like, oh, they're ready. This is the bringer of jollity, and I had to look up whether or not that is a real word. It is a real word. But this tune has brought me joy working on it with these kids up here, and they certainly play it with joy. So I hope you enjoy our final 8th grade tune for today. This is Jupiter from the Planets. It's the bringer of jollity. hate that that's the last thing we're going to play on a concert together. But let's hear once again for our 8th grade concert band. What a great end to 2 years. We're going to take a short break, reset the stage for Pop's band, and hope that you dance in the aisles. Everybody ready? All right, here we go. Thank you, 8th grade. Wonderful job. Let's hear it for them.
Go, go!
All right. Just a couple things. I want to say thank you to Krista Trainer and Jamie Hamilton and a couple other parents who all helped put our flower sale together. This is like bang for your buck up here. I don't know what he's feeding these things, but there are some amazing, amazing flowers up here. Please remember that if you ordered your flowers to help decorate tonight, they are yours. So when we are done, we have a couple more tunes, but when we're done tonight, we hope that you'll come up earlier than later as we finish, and Mrs. Hamilton will be up front with a list, and just to make sure that everybody gets what they ordered, everything's labeled, but she'll be here up front to help and make sure that you get what you ordered, and thank you for ordering them because they always raise hundreds of dollars for us every year. So thank you, and thank you to the Miller's Greenhouse for putting these together. They are great. So thank you very much if you ordered flowers as well. All right. Parents, get up and dance in the aisles if you want to. This is Chameleon. If you want to come up on stage, there's a nice little area. Look at Harrison shaking his head at his mom. Is the Sauter family in the house? Or... Wait, he said pop, pop, do it, so that's an invitation right there. No.
Oh, I thought he was coming out. I am not. Oh man, I was so excited. One, two, ready, hey!
Before we play our traditional closer, In the Mood, I want to remind everybody and say a couple more thank yous. First, thank you to Toby in the back, who comes over from the high school to help out lighting and sound. Did anybody else get nervous that he didn't know how to turn the lights back up? Man, that felt, Toby, can you do that one more time? It felt really good. Can you turn the lights down one more time? Oh. All right, we got to finish this thing. Here we go. Toby, thank you for being here. Also want to say thank you to the parents who volunteered to help put together our 8th grade farewell party. We had a lot of great parents helping out. And for everyone here, out in the lobby after we're done this tune, there's cake, there's drinks, there's all kinds of goodies out there. I hope that you'll stick around. I got in trouble with some parents who told me after the last concert, stop telling our kids that we have to take them out for ice cream. So we brought the cake here. You can hit it, get home, do your homework, whatever you need to do. All right. But the party is for everybody, not just 8th graders or 8th grade families. We hope everybody will stick around. Additionally, I want to say thank you to Mrs. Potter, our middle school librarian. Let's hear it from Mrs. Potter. She's not here, but she knows we love her. Okay? She helped because I have no idea how to use it. It's like a Cricut or a Cricut. I can't. Cricut. She really took a lot of time to put all these together. She tells me it was way less time than I think, which is probably true with that machine, but she put those together, and those have become a really nice tradition here for the last couple of years. They are 8th grade students. Those are yours to take with you. I always love when our concert ends. I always see, it's probably my favorite part of this concert every year is when I see the parents forcing their child to go stand in front of their note. There's cake. So those are yours, parents. If you don't make your kid take a picture with it, we need to have a talk because you're missing a great opportunity, okay? Those music notes are yours, and again, thank you to Mrs. Potter, thank you to our parents who helped volunteer, and put the party together, and if you made any donations tonight, thank you so much. I hope you had fun. I know I'm having a blast up here, and I hope you guys are having a good time too. One last chance to dance tonight. In the Mood, here we go. everybody. I hope you had a great night. Happy almost there. You know what I mean. Happy almost there. Thanks so much, guys. Enjoy the party out in the lobby. Get your flowers. Have a great night.